This is a little tutorial about the brushes that are in PSP. I don't know if anybody else is as stupid as I am, but I had no clue that we had a whole bunch of really cool brushes just kind of built right in here. Whenever I thought about a brush, I chose the paintbrush, and I had to try to figure out something that I had saved that worked as a brush, and I don't know, never was very impressed. But one day I discovered this whole slew of brushes down here. Lighten, darken, smudge, soften, sharpen, and I'm like, oh my god, how did I not know these existed? So in case you're like me and had no clue what this little box under the paintbrush was all about, I just wanted to introduce you to the brushes that are there. To get started, I took an image and then I went ahead and layered a texture over it. And she was on just like this brown. And first thing I did is I didn't want it to be so brown, so I took the light and darken brush, and I had done some lightening of that original texture. And I just like the fact that you can go back and adjust every layer, light and dark. If her face were just a little too bright or not bright enough, you can just go along and play around with it. The left click brightens, the right click darkens, right? So anyway, I like that. Then on this new layer that I have a texture on, it's pretty light. Sometimes it's nice to have that vignette look, and the vignette tool doesn't always give me exactly what I want. Now I know I can right click with my light and darken brush, and I can put the vignette exactly the way I want it, as dark as I want it, and I love that, and I can't believe I never knew about this. What's really nice is if you've got a really bright spot on your texture and you just don't want it to be, it's just too bright where it is, then you can actually use your brighten and lighten and darken brush to go along. And I just saw her fingers here were a little messy. To go along and take some of that brightness out. So like I have this one, I'll show you this one texture that I really like the texture, but it's got this really bright center. And so like if I decided I wanted to use it and I slap it on top, it doesn't really go with this color scheme, but I just want you to see what I mean. I'll resize it here. Okay, so say I multiply it, and obviously I'm going to have to erase it off of her. But like multiply is awfully dark, so what if I try soft light? Well, I can't really see much of it then. If I screen it, what happens then? So I might be stuck with multiply on this. Anyway, so you know, maybe it's that it makes it too dark in this case. So I can use my light and darken brush, and instead of deleting the layer, oops, I'm using darken. I forgot what I was doing. I'm lightening it. And like it's a little too bright here, so I can darken it up a little. Obviously I still would need to erase it off of her and stuff, but I just like that this brush gives me a chance to put the lighting and darkening right where I want it and can play around with it. A couple of the other brushes in here that I just love is the sharpen. So some of the filters, you know, are really cool and you can get really good effects, but you can also just kind of go along, and if you just want to bring out a little more detail, sometimes I sharpen on the eyes, just make them stand out a little bit more. Or the opposite, you know, you have an area that you kind of want to lighten up. That also works where you can not soften but unsharpen with a right click. This is the soften. Oh, that's way small. So like if I wanted to soften, there's nothing much here to soften, but you can soften just where you want to instead of having to soften the entire image and then erase where you don't want it. And I like that. So you see that's too soft, but I just wanted to show you what it could do. The smudge and push, these are fun for your texture. Sometimes you can take something from one area and kind of shove it to another. It works good when you have like lines and stuff. But I just wanted you to be aware that you have these brushes, especially the light and darken. Sometimes the person is in shadow and you just really wish they weren't. Well, you don't have to keep them in shadow. You can go back and brighten them up with the brighten and darken brush. Okay, I hope that helps.